Donkey Kong 64 is one of Rareware's last real game, to be honest. And although many people criticize it, I actually found it to be a pretty fun game. I played this game on the Wii U, the Virtual Console, so this isn't my experience on the N64, but I think it's kind of the same thing. There really isn't much of a difference between the Wii U version and the N64 version. But Donkey Kong 64 is Donkey Kong's first adventure in 3D, and it's kind of similar to Rareware's other game, Banjo-Kazooie, where there's a bunch of collectibles and it's a collectathon like uh, Banjo-Kazooie. And it's kind of known to be bad because it has a lot of bad game design choices. But in my opinion, I actually found it to be really fun and actually enjoyable. The game starts you off with only Donkey Kong, and as you save later Diddy Kong through your first world, and then saving later on Linky Kong, Tiny Kong, and then finally Chunky Kong, where Linky and Tiny are in the same world, but then Chunky is in the world after. And each of them have their own unique abilities, which are really cool, and making backtracking actually kind of fun, and making it sort of like a Metroidvania, where you get these power-ups and other things going forth, and then you come back to the earlier worlds, and you're like, oh, okay, now I can use this to actually get up there and get this golden banana, and so on and so forth. And unlike other games like Super Mario 64, they allow you to stay in the world instead of kicking you out into the hub world. Like in Super Mario 64, once you get a star, they kick you out and you have to go back to the beginning of the world if you wanted to get a different star. But in this game, you can just go ahead and explore the world like you want, and once you collect a golden banana, you can just keep going and try and find some more. Or you could fight the boss, or you could do pretty much anything, and that's kind of the cool part of Donkey Kong 64. If you have enough bananas, you can just fight the boss and just leave. You don't have to have a certain amount of bananas, although you do need a certain amount of bananas to get to the next world. You don't have to have, or golden bananas, you don't have to have a certain amount to leave the level, and you can always come back and stuff like that, which I find pretty cool. And each level, you get new abilities for each of your Kongs, or for one of them, or for none of them. It just depends on what Cranky is feeling like. And there's a bunch of collectibles, like I said. You have bananas you have to collect for the bosses, which also you can collect banana medals, which I actually don't know how they worked. I think after you collect 100 in total bananas throughout the world or whatever, or each world, you get a banana medal. But there's the bananas to collect for the boss, because you need to feed this monster this hippo a certain amount of bananas to weigh out this pig to open the door for the boss. It's kind of weird, but that's what you have to do in order to fight the boss. And that's your only real objective, and it gets higher every world. But those are the only real use for the bananas. And then you have banana coins, which you spend on to get your upgrades. Like, you have instruments in this game, and instrument upgrades, health upgrades, ammo upgrades for guns, to buy guns from Funky Kong, because apparently he sells guns now, and new abilities from Cranky. And it's a lot, it really is, and some people think it's just too much, and that you have to constantly switch between Kongs, and you have to enter the shop with each Kong. You have to go to each shop, and there's so many shops, because there's Cranky's shop, there's Candy's shop, there's Funky's shop, and then there's even this other guy, I think his name was Hyde or something like that, who you have to find these blueprints from, and each character has a blueprint, and you have to constantly give them the blueprint with each character, and there's a cutscene, and it's a lot of time wasting stuff, and that's a big complaint of this game. And there's too much, but I don't know, I liked it, and I couldn't put this game down because I'm like, oh, I gotta do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I gotta collect these bananas, I gotta collect these banana coins, gotta switch out the Kong to get these banana coins, because each Kong has a different color coin and banana that only they can collect, where Donkey Kong can only collect yellow banana coins or yellow bananas. uh, Diddy Kong can only collect red bananas or red banana coins. uh, Lanky can only collect blue ones, Tiny can only collect purple, and Chunky can only collect green. So it's a lot of backtracking that you have to do to collect all the stuff. Although you don't need to, and most of the time you don't, except for kind of the last world mainly, because you need a lot of bananas to fight the boss, because you need like 450 or something like that. So pretty much you had to collect a good amount, probably 80% of the bananas that were in that world. But most of the time you kind of just could go along with how much bananas you had. And although you do need like 15 banana medals to actually complete the game, most of them you can get, I think, 5, or you get 5 of them in the last area of the game before the final boss. Which, by the way, I actually didn't fight the final boss. I know it's bad, but the main reason is because you need 2 key items that you would think are collectibles, but they're required. And these 2 items are the Rareware coin and the Nintendo coin. So the Rareware coin I actually got, it wasn't too bad. You have to play, I think, Rare's first game or something like that by going to Cranky's shop and showing him 15 banana medals. And by that you get to play some space game or whatever, and you have to get the high score of like 5,000, and then it'll appear, and then you have to collect it. And that one wasn't too bad, but the other one, the Nintendo coin, which I didn't get, you have to beat Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong, go up to 100 meters and beat the game. Then you have to go on difficulty 2 and beat it again on the second difficulty. And I was just like, nah, I'm not doing that. That ain't it, Chief. So I was just like, I'm done with the game, that's it. And although I heard the boss fight is actually pretty hard and pretty time consuming, I did look it up online, but I don't know, I wanted to play it, like I really did, but the fact that I couldn't because I need to get some stupid collectible by not doing anything in the actual game, but by playing the original Donkey Kong, which was kind of stupid. But other than that, there really wasn't anything that was other annoying. There are some reused bosses, but I think that's because of the N64's capabilities and stuff. And there's 200 bananas to collect in this game, which is a lot. Unlike in, like, again, giving Super Mario 64 the example, that was only 120. So this game has 80 more bananas, or golden bananas, I should say. And although they are kind of reused, because there are bananas that you get from playing these mini games, some are fun, some are really annoying, but most of these mini games are reused 2 times, even 3 times, and it gets kind of annoying sometimes. And yeah, like, I really did enjoy this game, and I would just look at the clock and just be like, wow, I wasted that much time on this. I was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, I always have a plan usually when I play games, and I was always like, I'm gonna get this banana, I'm gonna go switch to this Kong and go to this area, because I knew I have to use this ability to get there. I'm gonna play this mini game, and then I'm gonna go over to this shop, gonna get these banana coins over here, switch out to a different Kong, and then get these bananas and stuff like that. And another annoying part was a little bit the controls, the camera, and the switching out to the Kongs. The only way you can switch out is by finding a change barrel, which was a little annoying, but they were usually in close proximity, not really spread too far apart. They were usually all near where the bananas were, and always were like near when you had to switch out your Kong pretty much. But yeah, the controls are pretty much all inverted. Even changing the Kongs, you press left to have like the Kong move to the left, and it's not actually like choosing the one that you see on the left. It's like scrolling, so you're like swiping left. So you're actually selecting the one that's right. And like the swimming controls are inverted, the gun controls are inverted. The camera was a little bit annoying, and especially with doing the jetpack with Diddy Kong. I hate those controls, and at the like end of the game there's like this segment that you have to go through these hoops with Diddy Kong on the jetpack, and it really annoyed me. This game really didn't annoy me until Crystal Caves, or whatever it's called, the cave area with the what's it called, like there's just this cave area with a bunch of crystals and everything like that. That part was when I was like, alright, I don't like this game anymore. Because it was like too dark. It was just not a fun area, and it was just like going around. There's like this giant like river in the middle, and you have to like, you can only jump up to certain areas if you're in the water because like the land's too high. It was just really annoying, and then constantly you'll get hit by these like rocks that were falling down because like 2 minutes into the level you see a cutscene of this Kremling, and he has this like giant mallet or whatever, and he's like stomping on the ground and causing a bunch of rocks to fall from the cave. And he does that every like minute or so, and so you might be like in the middle of like jumping like to a high area or something like that, or it might be like in the middle of trying to shoot something, like shooting a balloon in the air or something like that, and all of a sudden you just hear this like dramatic music, or not really dramatic music, but like sudden music, and then it's just like a bunch of rocks fall and disturb what you're doing, and they just follow you. So if you keep moving, they'll just keep following you for a good like 10 seconds, and that happens every minute in that level until you beat that guy, which I never did, to be honest. I was surprised I actually was able to get through that level without having to handle with him, because I didn't even know where he was. Like that level I was just like lost. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know where any of the golden bananas were, and that's the part of the game where I was just like, I'm not really having fun anymore. And it's sad because like that part, the other part of like the other world, or the next world, was actually pretty fun, and I like that world just as much as the other ones, but that Crystal Cave or whatever really annoyed me. And then the segment before the final boss, which I couldn't do the final boss, but the segment before was also a little annoying, but I found it a little bit cool because you would use every Kong. Like you had to go through one door with Donkey Kong and use all of his abilities. Then you had to go one with Tiny and Lanky and all those guys. So I found like that was pretty cool. And the final boss apparently is the same thing, where you have to kind of use everyone's abilities and everyone what they learned throughout their adventure, and pretty much defeat the final boss in that way. So I found that cool, but there is some annoying parts in this game, and I think that's about it. All the worlds were pretty fun. It did get dark at sometimes, and I don't really like that with most games, like the cave areas. Like I said, with Crystal Caves, there was also Fungi Forest. The nighttime section also was like really dark. I couldn't like really see where I was going, which I found that annoying. But that one has like a daytime nighttime cycle, where I don't think you have to go to the nighttime, or at least for too much. There are only like some certain bananas that you can get in the nighttime, but I don't think you really need them to progress, so that was nice. But other than that, I really enjoyed this game, and I couldn't put it down, to be honest. It was just so much fun, and I'm just surprised how much it's like criticized. I do understand, like, there are some problems with this game, and it isn't perfect. It isn't like the best game, but this is on the N64, and so, you know, what do you expect? It's Donkey Kong's first adventure in 3D. But although they did do really great stuff in Banjo-Kazooie, I guess Rareware didn't know what to do with Donkey Kong. So, yeah. But overall, really fun game. The boss fights I did get repetitive, but they were also pretty tough and fun. I also like the fact that this game doesn't have any like lives counter, so you can die as many times as you want. You'll just keep on going, which is really cool. I like that. The only punishment that you get for dying is that you have to start the level over again if you're not inside an area. So like if you're inside like a little house or whatever with Tiny, or inside some like mini game or something like that, you would have to just start it over pretty much, but you don't have to go back to the beginning of the level. But if you're in like the overworld of the level, pretty much like exploring and like finding the bananas, the banana coins and all that stuff, then if you die there, even if you fall off a pit, you have to go from the like starting point of the level, which isn't too bad because this game has like teleport pads, where if you find both teleport pads, you can teleport there, which I found really cool and very helpful. And that was another cool thing that they had, because then you could like teleport back and like maybe switch your Kong, because usually the teleport pads were near change barrels, and so you can change your Kong and then teleport back and get those bananas, or get that golden banana, or like hit the switch to find mini game or whatever to get a golden banana, stuff like that. And the overworld for this game was also really cool. There was a lot of hidden bananas here and there, and even some, I think, yeah, there was blueprints as well. And the blueprints actually are not really required, but they're definitely helpful, because at the end of the game, the amount of blueprints you get from these like tough enemies and stuff are your time. So each blueprint I think you got was 1 minute to your time for the final section of the game. So you kind of wanted a good amount of time to do that. I think I got like 41 or something like that, so I had 41 minutes to get through and do everything that I needed to do to get to like King K. Rool's lair. But I was blocked by the rare coin and the Nintendo coin, and although I'd had the rare coin, I didn't have the Nintendo coin, so I wasn't able to get past it, and it was kind of a waste in a way. But at least I was able to get through that final section at least. But other than that, really fun game. Definitely recommend it if you're looking for a collectathon. The other annoying part, this one was just for me, is because I'm a little bit colorblind, I wasn't able to tell the difference between like the blue bananas and the purple bananas, and sometimes the green bananas and the yellow bananas. So I was like, are those green or are those yellow? Are those blue or are those purple? And then I have to use like process of elimination. I was like, alright, well, I'm chunky, or yeah, I'm chunky, and the bananas aren't non-transparent, because they're transparent when you can't collect them, so it's even harder to tell the color. And so when I tried to collect it with like chunky or whatever, I'm like, oh, okay, I can't collect it, that means it must be yellow, and I have to be Donkey Kong, which was a little annoying, but that was just me because I'm colorblind. But yeah, that's pretty much about it. But yeah, if I were to rate this game, like as an N64 game, I'd rate it probably a 9 out of 10. It's just really fun. Like I said, I couldn't put it down. The only point I'm taking off is mainly because crystal caverns and just some of the controls, and it's pretty much about it. And constantly switching between the Kongs, I guess, as well. But as a game for today, or like as a game in general, I guess, yeah, as a game today, probably give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, it's still enjoyable. Like I said, I'm playing this in 2019, and I never played it before, and I had a really fun time, and it was just a fun time playing it. And like I said, I couldn't put it down at some points. I wasn't annoyed until the Crystal Caverns, which I think was it was the second to last world, but I don't know what world it was. I think it was 6 or 5, and these worlds are pretty big too. Like, it would take me a good probably 2-3 hours to complete, probably even more, because I wouldn't even know, because the time would just fly by as I would play these levels, but or worlds, I guess. But I think that's gonna be it. So that's what I think about Donkey Kong 64. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more reviews right here on Until Nick. Bye.